Chitin Mountain Conservation Center in Albany, New Hampshire. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning. I'm happy to be here.
And we had such fun with Claire talking about skulls just a moment ago that we're going to continue on that theme. Lori's actually brought some skulls and bones in with her from White Mountain Wildlife. We'll talk about that. And you're also talking about the school programs that Chitin Mountain Conservation Center is running. Tell me what Chitin Mountain Conservation Center is, and then tell me about your school programs.
Thank you. We are a local environmental education organization, and we work in the local schools, helping children develop an appreciation for nature right here in their own backyard. We run summer camps in the summertime, and we run a series of programs on weekends and evenings for adults and families. But our biggest focus is on our schools programs, and really, we serve the children of the greater Mount Washington Valley, SAU 9, SAU 13, and MSD 72 in the Freiburg school system as well.
Right. Now, in Conway, you guys had some great benefactors step up to help you continue your education in Conway.
Yes, and we're very, very grateful to them. Let me give you a little background information on how we are funded. We are a nonprofit, so we have a board of directors, and we do a lot of fundraising to support these and all of our programs, but we do contract with the local schools, and as you can imagine, it's a rocky road with school budgets constantly changing and so forth. So there are years we're funded by the school, it's just in the budget. Other years we've gone the warrant article approach, in Conway anyway, and unfortunately we had done that 2 other times and passed with no problem, and unfortunately last year we didn't get voted back into the Conway schools, and we just really felt, that it was very disappointing to everyone, as you can imagine. And but we had 2 donor-advised funds from the New Hampshire Charitable Trust step forward and see how important it was for these programs to continue on a continuous basis, because it gets really, this up and down is really tough to continue. Our programs build on each other year after year. Right. So anyway, they stepped forward and they funded us for this year, which we are very, very grateful for. It's the Stanton and Elizabeth Davis Foundation and a local anonymous donor who funded us for this year. But part of what they said was, you got to get out there and educate people as to what you do and why it's important. So that's what I'd like to do. That
would have been a big missing part, I think, of the education in Conway this past year if you guys weren't in the school system. For one reason, I think, is that this area, the national forest and the woodlands that surround us and all the different environments and habitats, you don't find a classroom like that everywhere. And so for these kids to be right in that classroom and not have a teacher to really expose them to it and help them learn about it, that would be a crying shame.
It really would be. And I know this may sound trite, but people think, oh, you live up there, everybody's out hiking, snowshoeing, doing whatever every weekend. And it's not, it doesn't happen. People are busy, people work, it's hard sometimes to get out, and it's just not a priority for a lot of people. So I can't tell you how many times we're out there and it's the first time someone's caught a frog or hiked a mountain or gone to the top of Mount Washington. These are all opportunities that we're able to provide to these students. And let me tell you, because I'm in there, I teach a lot. It's part of it's my favorite part of my job, and these kids love it. Yeah. So, and it reaches across all arenas in terms of, some kids who might struggle in a classroom in a typical situation tend to thrive in this kind of environment, and kids who thrive in a school environment thrive in this environment as well. So.
Right, so many lessons and so many different subjects that can be learned in a classroom such as that.
Exactly.
So what have you brought with you today? What are these things?
Well, these are some skulls that I brought in because as we speak, I'm working with the 3rd grade at Pine Tree Elementary School, and we are doing our unit on New Hampshire wildlife. And the unit is, the program is Project Kite, and it stands for Kids in the Environment. And the Project Kite units are 3 classroom lessons and a field trip associated with the topic. So I'll go in 3 different times. On Tuesday, I'm heading in with our skulls collection. We'll be talking about herbivores, omnivores, carnivores, and the adaptations that these skulls can show us. And here's one of the big differences. Teachers do a great job. I love teachers. They are hardworking, but they have so many responsibilities, and your average teacher isn't going to have a lot of the stuff we have, our skull collection, our furs collection, our snowshoes, our nets, our binoculars for, a class of 25 kids. So anyway, so I'll bring this in. We'll do a lesson on skulls, looking at the different adaptations. And if everybody was watching Claire earlier, you'd be able to see, the canine teeth, the incisors, and looking at, the different, how this is very different from our beaver skull here with obvious orange. Oh, sorry. Right there you go. Orange incisors. Open that guy up, and you can see his very, very flat molars right there for grinding the bark on trees. So these are all kinds of things that we're looking at with the students, and then comparing them. Sometimes it's easy, take one look at it and you go, all right.
I'm gonna put that one right here.
Sorry, that's a big skull. So easy to tell that that is a moose skull. So that's our second lesson, and then we're following up with that with a field trip to Tin Mountain in Albany, our Nature Learning Center in Albany, where we will go on a hike and look for signs of wildlife and see what we can find. And we've got a great network of trails and all kinds of squirrel signs, beaver signs everywhere, and that is very exciting. See a beaver lodge, see the trees they cut down. Occasionally we'll actually see a beaver or something like that.
You guys encourage people to come to your Nature Learning Center to check it out too. So if you're looking for just a great, easy hike filled with nature sightings and different things to see, head on over to Tin Mountain in Albany.
And they also, we had another grant that funded a series of family programs, and as part of that is we have developed a number of, I think, 8 different backpacks that you could walk in with your family, Chris, grab a backpack off the wall, and so you take the beaver backpack, and it has all kinds of cool beaver stuff in it. There's a skull, there's a beaver stick, there's activities, there's a pair of binoculars.
Really?
Yeah, you borrow it, go out for your walk, come back, bring it back. There's a pond one, so that one will have a couple nets, and some binoculars, and again, some identification, field guide identifying some water insects and so forth like that. So those are great. And along with that grant, we have this family fun series of programs that we've been doing. We just did one on last Friday night on a jack-o'-lantern walk, and we had over 100 people, probably 25 families came, and they all carved their pumpkin, and then we had a dinner courtesy of Fry's Pizza and Old Village Bakery, and then while they were eating, we went out and put the pumpkins around. Everybody walked around and saw all the pumpkins. It was great. And I looked at it as it was happening, and I thought, this is why these people, it was really nice to see all those families there, just having a good time, So that's important as well. So, and that'll be an ongoing series that you can join in on, another one coming up this winter. But back to this last lesson here with pine tree. So after we go on our hike at Tin Mountain, I'll come back in one more time, and we'll be doing a tracking lesson. We do this lesson also in the winter with a number of other schools, and it would entail a snowshoe trip looking at animal tracks and so forth. So we have snowshoes for 70, not that we take 70 out at one time, mind you, but anyway, and that's great, because there's something that not everybody does all the time.
We could talk all day, literally, about all the programs that Tin Mountain offers. You should probably go to their website, tinmountain.org.
Yes.
And you can find out about all the school programs, as well as the unique nature programs and presentations you guys offer throughout the year. You have everything from live owl presentations at your nature center to all different things. I've seen a raptors presentation before. So cool. So fun.
Both even, at the building or a field presentation, field hike.
Go on a canoe trip through a nature preserve.
Yeah, we do it all.
If people want to, get more involved in Tin Mountain or support this, your educational mission, especially if they're like members of Conway, what would you recommend? What are you? How can they do it?
Well, they can certainly talk to the administration at this time of year, talking to the administration at their school, saying, hey, we support Tin Mountain in the schools. We're really psyched they're back. Needs to be in the school budget. Talk to your school board members. Those are the things that really make a difference. They need to hear from people like you and I and whomever who support these programs. And then if, in fact, it ends up being a warrant article, which it very well could be, voting. I believe really half of the reason it didn't pass was because very few people vote, and that's sad. You need to get out there. Your voice needs to be heard. So voting in the town elections in April and supporting Tin Mountain in the schools. It's a bargain. We charge half of what it costs to do the programs. Our board of directors raises the funds for the other half through a variety of our fundraising programs, everything from the Mount Washington Hill Climb bicycle race to our Century Ride to our first season festival, and all those kinds of things help raise the money to support these programs in the schools.
All right. Lori Kinsey, thank you so much for joining us. We could go on for so long, but we're out of time. Lori Kinsey from Tin Mountain, tinmountain.org for more information on this great resource here in the Mount Washington Valley.
Great. Thank you very much, Chris. I appreciate it.
You're very welcome. We'll see you soon, and we'll be back with more on White Mountains Today.